One of the most popular recent offerings in the futuristic artificial intelligence genre, Westworld, has been exciting its audience since it first came onto our screens back in 2016. But if fans noticed everything there is to know about the show, what secrets are hidden within Westworld? Today, we're going to take a look into some of the behind-the-scenes secrets that fans never knew about. The budget of the first season alone was enormous. Let's kick off with a fact with an enormous price tag. The very first season of Westworld was one of the most pricey debut seasons of a TV show ever. The first season of 10 episodes cost a reported $100 million, which is absolutely crazy. And that isn't all, as the 2-hour-long pilot episode alone is estimated to have cost a massive $25 million by itself. There's had to be reshoots, rewrites, and all of this costs money, but it was worth it in the end, as Westworld kicked off and became one of the most successful TV dramas of recent years. But at the time, after filming delays and rumors of the massive cost, people began to think it might not be worth the wait. Fortunately for the show's creators, naysayers were proven entirely wrong. Ben Barnes had a secret injury. Next, let's look at a secret that one of the cast members actually kept from the rest of the crew. Ben Barnes, who plays Logan, turned up on the first day of shooting the show with a broken foot. Rather than telling the creators about it and potentially being replaced, he made a rather brave decision. He worked his real-life limp into a distinct walk for Logan, like a cowboy swagger. However, when his foot healed, he had to keep limping for continuity. Because of this, his character is loved by fans for his distinctive demeanor, and now you know the secret reason behind it. You notice the hidden Shakespearean influence? One of the most important lines in the series is without a doubt, "These violent delights have violent ends." This is because it is the phrase used to unlock Dolores' true purpose and sentience, and is repeated at multiple different times during the first season. First, it is said by Dolores' father, who remembered it from a previous program he ran during a glitch. However, we later learn that Dolores is programmed to activate her Wyatt storyline if she hears the quote, so it is doubted whether her father glitched and uttered the phrase randomly, or whether this was a plan all along. The quote itself sounds bizarre and poetic. This is because it is actually a line from Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. It's during the second act, when Romeo is consulting a friar in the town about his marriage to Juliet, and the holy man warns him of the future that might await him should he continue his romantic tryst. It is fitting that this quote should be used in Westworld, as it perfectly foreshadows the ending of the first season. The theme park is definitely a violent delight for those who attend, and there is about to be a violent end coming their way very, very soon. Like a real theme park, everything you hear is chosen to make you feel a certain way. For example, let's take a look at the music played in the Mariposa Saloon. The automated piano is always playing a jaunty tune whenever we stop by, and lots of the music we hear has been written by the talented score composer Ramin Djawadi. However, that's not all. The familiar and nostalgic feeling you have in the scenes which take place in the Mariposa are not just because the saloon itself makes you feel a bit snug. The music playing in the background is working its magic on you, as lots of the songs are stripped-back, low-key piano covers of modern music. Because the theme park is in the near future, songs in the present day, real-life world would have already come out. The saloon isn't actually set in the real Wild West, so the automatic piano would absolutely be able to, and does, play modern music. If you listen closely, you can hear Radiohead, Soundgarden, Nirvana, and The Cure. What's the secret behind the Delos family name? And there's another name which holds a cryptic clue. What is it? Stick around to find out. For a view into how the hosts are doing, look at the camera work. For the vast majority of the first season, the hosts are performing all their duties excellently, and things are going as smoothly as you could want, on the surface anyway. And as such, the camera work is always smooth, controlled and precise, exactly what you would expect from a multi-million-dollar TV show. However, in the last episode, a handheld camera is used to film some scenes. In this episode, things are unraveling fast, and the deterioration of the programming and the hosts reaches a peak. The jerky, unstable view through the handheld camera lens shows us what is going on in the heads of the hosts as they begin to crack, glitch, and malfunction. Giving the audience a metaphorical view of something is one of the things that makes this show so great, and it's the best reason to rewatch your favorite episodes again and again. Costuming inconsistencies. So obviously, the huge deal about Westworld is that it is a world within a world. The theme park is flawlessly styled to seem like guests are transported back in time, and as such, so are you, the viewer. The hosts are programmed perfectly to believe that they really are in that space and time period, which is why it is so important that objects from the modern world do not make it into the park, as it would interfere with their perfect submersion in their programming. However, eagle-eyed viewers have noticed that some of the intricately designed costumes have features like zips, a device which was only invented in real life in 1893. However, seeing as the show takes place in the future, having a zip on a costume makes perfect sense. As long as the hosts don't know when zips were invented, it doesn't mess up their perception of their own lives. In real life, the costumes were all handmade and intended to look as though they really were from the time period, although obviously a zip here and there slipped through the net. Whether it is intentional or not, it works with the story, and it is clear from the sheer detail of the outfits that the team of 35 costume creators worked incredibly hard for the results. The secret behind the Delos family name. There is a real-life connection between the Delos family name and the real world around us. Delos is actually an island in Greece, and it is of massive significance in ancient Greek mythology. In ancient lore, Delos was the place where twin gods Apollo and Artemis were born. It was a place of fervent worship for the pair, with temples on the island and many people arriving for religious pilgrimages. At one point in history, every grave on the island was excavated and moved to a nearby island, as the ruling party did not want any death within eyeshot of the important temple. Eventually, death and birth were banned on the island due to how sacred the place was. This is rather fitting, as the Delos company has a huge stake in the fact that robots are forbidden from harming real living humans. Death is prohibited in Westworld, although everything else under the sun is absolutely free to happen. There's nowhere else in history with such a specific parallel, and yet here is one with the exact same name. There's no way that this is an accident, and it speaks to the dedication of the creators that such an ancient and obscure piece of history is used as an Easter egg in the show. There's another name which holds a cryptic clue. What is it? And that is the famous Mariposa Saloon. What is so cryptic about that, you might ask? Well, mariposa is the Spanish word for butterfly, and considering that Maeve, played by Thandie Newton, is the character that we most associate with the saloon, it suddenly becomes very meaningful indeed. Butterflies are famous for their transition from cute caterpillars into beautiful winged butterflies. But between that transition, they are stuck in a cocoon for a period of time until they are able to break free and spread their wings. This is exactly what happens with Maeve. Her life and narrative are spent holed up in the cocoon, repeating day after day the whims and wants of every park guest that crosses her path. However, after whispered conversations with Dolores and some nudging by Dr. Ford, she recovers some memories from past narratives that she's undergone as a host before she was put to work in the Mariposa Saloon. These memories are what she needs to break free of her programmed life, her cocoon, and become a butterfly or a sword-wielding warrior, whichever's easiest. This show sure does love its wordplay. But what do you think of these Westworld secret facts? Did we miss any? Let us know which is your favorite in the comments below. See you next time!